Hi, today in our devotions, we're looking at Luke 19:11 through 27, and it's the story of the 10 servants. And story begins by Jesus explaining that there's a nobleman who is going to be crowned as king, and he needs to go away for a while. And so he asks his servants, 10 of his servants, to take everything he has, his financial wealth, and to hold on to it and care for it while he's gone. Similar to if we were to think about Jesus is our king, and right before his crucifixion, he was trying to tell people, look, there's going to be a time when I'm going to have to go away, and I'm going to give my servants things to care for, and I'm going to entrust my wealth to them. And so the first servant, and you've all heard this story, the first servant invests the money and it comes back tenfold, and the second one does the same. He invests it and it comes back fivefold, and the third one is afraid, and he views the master as kind of a harsh man, and he acts out of fear and he holds on to everything, and so he does nothing. And when the master returns, he tells the first servant, good and faithful servant, I'm going to give you 10 nations to govern because you invested wisely and got back tenfold. Does the same thing with the second one. You get more because you were entrusted with little. And the third one, he says, you did nothing. You didn't invest what I gave you. And so I think there's two things in this story that stand out to me. Just the first one is just this principle of investment and stewardship. Everything that we have, all of us, is owned by the King, and it's entrusted to us, and we're stewarding it. And so when we give of our time or our gifts or our talents or our treasures, anything that we give, it belongs to the King. And when we invest it, as opposed to holding on to it, it multiplies and he's pleased. And the second thing that stands out to me about this story is that if we act in faith and not in fear, the first two acted in faith. They just were not afraid of the master. They didn't view him as just a harsh master, and he was going to come back and shame them or blame them. They just acted in faith. They knew what to do with the resources given, and they knew what would make it multiply. And so they acted in that faith. And the third one just said, I was afraid. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I think that we do act in that way. We hold on because we're not sure, we're fearful. And yet I think that when I look at this story, it's an encouragement to view everything we have as something that is owned by a king. The King that we serve is a loving King that wants to give us good things, and he wants us to take those things and be used for the kingdom so that he can multiply them. And then the second thing is to again act in faith, not in fear, to know that that God is a good God, and he's going to bless what he's given to us because it's for his good and for his glory.